And as always, we're going to be looking for accurate context, good risk management, and always exercising good patience.
Anytime you're talking about fundamentals in a market and direction, fundamentals take a little bit of time to play out.
We got crude oil today, kind of trading yesterday's value area really nicely, low to high.
That's what we're here for, is to put ourselves in the best success. A trading routine does that, builds that habit, lets you know what to work on, what to reflect on, and what to improve on the next day.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Coach's Playbook. Today is Tuesday, December 7th, Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day. Pardon me. Here we are. I'm JD filling in for Jack with John, Dan, and Mick. As always, how is everybody doing today?
Pretty darn
Excellent.
good.
I love
Cold.
little chilly. Yeah, it dropped here in Chicago.
But the risk on is good.
The risk on is definitely good. So today we're going to keep it a little light. We're going to first just spend a minute or two talking about the markets this week. And then we're going to segue into some of our favorite Christmas stories with maybe a little debate in there. What do you say, guys? But first, Mick, we got a Fund to Trader shout out?
Well, I'm looking forward to this little bit of a session we've got today, going back and forth over the Christmas stories, but I have a couple big shout outs to some of our traders. First shout out is to Apostolos Moshides. He did a great job today in the S&Ps, up a little over $1,000, but he's been on a tear this week and last week, growing the account very quickly, flawless trading, nothing but big winning days. Another shout out to Zachary Shaggy, who put up $6,800 trading the NASDAQ today. So really big day. Very happy for you both.
Love it.
Awesome. Well done, everyone.
Shaggy. I wonder how Scooby's doing.
Hey-o. All right. So
congratulations, guys. Always great to see good trading.
So why don't we start with talking about the markets? I'm going to put Mick on the spot here, just because I know how he likes to go first when Jack isn't around. But yeah, I'm going to throw you a curveball here. You've been looking at the natural gas market pretty closely the last few weeks.
I have. And I know last week we were talking about impulses in the markets, or going to be talking about them. And that's a little bit what we're going to talk about today. Natural gas has been one of those markets that has had my eye going back since springtime, with the bull run up to new multi-year contract highs, the volatility that we saw over those months when we did make those highs from basically end of summer until now. Now we're selling off. So the market's making new multi-week, month lows, and we've been seeing huge swings on any given day. We might see 10-11% net change move on the day, and we've had some really interesting price activity, some very impulsive price activity over the weekends too, with markets getting marked up 400 points on a Friday, only to open down 300 points on a Sunday and then sell off another couple hundred points. This has been a market that I know not a lot of people track, I guess, comparatively to the other big energies contract with the crude oil. And there's quite a bit of an impulsive story in the crude oil too. We're seeing big swings, wide ranges. But this nat gas has just been something that's had my eye for a while.
Awesome. Yeah, those are huge swings. It can be a little dangerous too. Side note, we're going to be having a conversation about adding more markets to our weekly kickoff email each week. If natural gas is something you guys want to take a closer look at, throw it in the chat and we'll take it into consideration for next year. We're also going to be adding the NQ in there. Hogue and Dan talk about the NQ every day on the recap and forecast, but we don't add it to our weekly email. So if there's anything else, everybody that follows our weekly kickoff email, if there's anything else in there you want to see, throw it in the chat and we'll take it in consideration. But But going back, moving around the horn, Dan, what's your focus in the last going into the end of the year? Let's just say, what are you gonna do?
Well, going into the end of the year, about a week from now, I'll be done with just about every single thing. Won't be looking at the markets. Got a lot going on, taking some time off. But really, right now, what I'm looking at and paying attention to, this is news-based driven market action in these equities and these crude oil markets, right? So a couple weeks ago, we started hearing about this new variant coming out of South Africa. Sent a lot of fear across the board. Everyone just kind of jumped on the short side and said, let's get out of our longs. Let's put some shorts on here. This could send things kind of into a little bit of a tizzy. Fear of demand for crude oil, right? We saw crude oil finally break. I was pretty pumped about that. I paid $2.91 for gas this weekend, which felt pretty good. But we saw a little bit of sell-off there. We saw equities kind of selling off as well. Major fear, concerns about lockdown, concerns about everything. Biden came out and pretty much said, hey, we're not looking to push any more mandates. We're not looking to push lockdowns. And that kind of settled the concerns, settled some fears there. You had the Fed continuing to be hawkish in their conversation. What was it, a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, when they came out with the statement there. So it really kind of sent everything into a little bit of a tizzy for a short bit. And as soon as you started seeing positive news or minimal news about this new variant of Omicron, and people still kind of leaning in, you saw the airline sector yesterday really had a strong day in the stock market. You're seeing these brick and mortar, in a sense, kind of doing pretty well right now. And you're seeing tech slug off a little bit. And so that's really kind of a sign that, hey, we're not too concerned about this reopening of our economy here. And that's got these stock markets really on a nice tear to the upside, and crude oil as well. We broke above 70 last night.
That you can hear the sadness in his voice.
Man, oh man. And snowmobile season's upon us. So which means my truck's going to get about 7 to 8 miles per gallon towing my trailer. But I guess that's the price we pay. Pun intended.
Pun intended. Yeah, we usually see a nice melt up going in the last few weeks of the year. Probably might even see a new high. It's possible. Personally, when Dan and Hogue are out, it falls on me to come up with the weekly kickoff levels. So I felt compelled to put my money where my mouth was last week. And I caught a piece of that move, and it was a good week last week. Yesterday and today, I've been kind of fighting the rally. And so I think if nothing good happens tomorrow, I am also going to be shutting it down for the rest of the year and calling it quits. Hogue, anything you want to add to that?
Well, I've been watching that nat gas, and we have been, talking about nat gas on the market forecast. We added that a while back, and it's really kind of got my spidey sense peaking, because it is a fascinating market. As far as I'm seeing, we have a request for bonds. We've been looking at the 10 years in the market forecast. So these are all things that we would consider putting into the weekly kickoff. I don't know how many we can fit in there, but we'll see what the consensus is, and we're going to be adding a couple of them, I'm sure.
At least two, for sure.
Okay. All right, good. So everybody, today is about the equities. We had a gap to the upside, opening range left at the low of the session. It's an up day, really waiting to see and trying to stay patient to see if there's any kind of a vicious face ripping pull off to the downside as we get closer to the close. But again, I don't want to fight a directional move. Crude oil was another good one today. 7,100 was weekly kickoff high. We moved above it overnight. We traded right back to it within a few ticks, and then we continued our move to the upside today. So really interesting markets, good opportunities for us today, and as they are every day. As far as the rest of the year, I'm going to be probably involved in the markets for the rest of this week and next week, and taking the last 2 weeks off.
Solid plans all around. Well, what do you say we get into it?
Yeah,
the reason why we're here today. Go ahead, Mick.
No, it's all right. It sounds like a few of us here are taking the last 2 weeks off. So I was just going to say, what Christmas movies or holiday movies are we going to be watching over those 2 weeks?
I've already begun.
I'm wearing my 12 Faces of Clark Griswold right now, just for this.
Would love to see the other 9.
But the burning question today is, I believe, is Die Hard a Christmas movie or is
Well,
it not?
let's talk about some regular Christmas movies, and then we're gonna get into the heavy debate.
Okay, let's do it.
I'll
So
start.
I just
I'll kick
showed
it
mine.
off. Okay, go ahead.
I'm a Griswold fan. I like Christmas Vacation. I could watch that movie every day during the holiday season. It has been making me laugh most of my life, and it's a family favorite too. So
And we're gonna have the happiest Christmas since Bing Crosby danced with Danny Kaye.
What other ones, JD? That's your favorite, but what else?
can't go wrong with Elf, obviously. Another that'll tickle your funny bone just a little bit. Classics,
the yellow
A
ones, they don't
Christmas
stop.
Story. A Christmas Story, Ralphie. Did you know a little fun trivia about A Christmas Story? Gene Shepard was a writer for Playboy, so Christmas Story was actually a series of short stories that were published via Playboy back in the day.
Learn something new every day.
There you go. Who's next?
I'll kick it off. I've watched a few already. I obviously have watched Elf, which is an absolute classic, one of the all-time greats. And my niece has gotten me into a one on Disney Plus with Anna Kendrick called Noelle, which is it's a fun one. It's pretty good. I suggest giving that one a watch. And JD took some real good ones here. So another one that I'm a big fan of is Fred Claus with Vince Vaughn. I like that. I think that one's pretty fun as well.
So I can go retro, and we always have to watch It's a Wonderful Life at least once during the Christmas. But another Vince Vaughn, Four Christmases. I thought that was hilarious. Some really big stars in that too.
I don't know if I've seen that one. Vince Vaughn, Four Christmases. Writing it down. Making a
Reese
note.
Witherspoon and Vince Vaughn, their parents are divorced, so they go to the Four Christmases that day, and it's them relating to their families. Vince Vaughn's dad is I can't think of his name right now, but he's really mean. He's got 2 brothers that are like WWF fighters, and they just like beat him up the whole time he's there. And he and Reese Witherspoon have a safe word. If they're not enjoying where they're at, they have to say mistletoe. So right after Vince Vaughn gets beat up by his 2 brothers, John Favreau is one of them, and I don't know who the other one is, but he's like barely breathing. He's like, mistletoe.
All right, it's on my list. I'm checking it out.
I'll have to check that out as well.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Family is family. You gotta love them.
All right. If I may, I'll say I've got several that I like. Christmas Story being one of them. That usually stays up on the television. I think they play that on repeat for about 48 hours straight around Christmas time on the Hallmark Channel. So that tends to just stay on the TV, even if the audio is not on. That's playing in the background at all times. Home Alone, another classic. Number one has to be watched. Always like seeing those sticky bandits get it stuck to them. And then I'm a big Elf fan too. Will Ferrell's funny. He's outrageous in Elf. So that's another one of my favorites. But my 2 musts to watch around that time are Christmas Story and Home Alone.
How did we miss this one? Jerry is Awake just put up one of the best ones, and I've loved it forever. Is Scrooged with Bill Murray.
Yeah. That is a classic too. It's kind of
there's so many. I feel like we could go on for days and days listing these off. But Mick gave me a little ammunition for this debate that's about to come.
I thought I withheld that.
You just handed me a little more.
Oh, okay.
Excuse me, Lumpy. I can't get these antlers on this mouse. Have you tried Staples? Bill Murray is funny in that. So Scrooge-like.
All right, let's have our debate. Let's hold the expletives.
So
All right.
we sat down beforehand. We talked about this too. JD wasn't here just yet, but JD is on the right side of things. A couple of us have different stances. So I firmly believe that Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
I don't.
Nor do I.
Well, you're both wrong.
Boom.
Well, first of all, it's a story about going home for the holidays, right? That's how it starts. Santa
Flying
makes an
planes and
appearance, and it
automobiles.
snows at the end. How is that not a Christmas movie?
Yeah, good introduction. You have to know that it's also, though, an action movie. It's categorized as an action movie, not a Christmas movie. They don't play it on the Hallmark Channel. There's a high body count in it.
All right, Mick. But if Home Alone is a Christmas movie because it's a movie just based around Christmas time, then so would Die Hard. It's just a movie based around Christmas time with the theme of Christmas, except more of a theme of Christmas.
The theme is not Christmas. It takes place around Christmas time.
John McClane coming home for Christmas.
The theme of the movie is surrounded by these terrorists basically take over and hold hostages. It's not a Christmas movie. It's not like Home Alone where you have a family
The theme
going
of Home
on.
Alone is a kid being left home alone.
Yes, but he got left home alone because he missed his Christmas vacation, and he is all about the Christmas spirit and living that while he's at home as these burglars come in and try and break into his house.
So I'm taking this as he got left home alone and he's fighting burglars, and that's the theme of the movie that happens to be around Christmas time, and there's a Christmas tree in it.
Not a bad argument, Dan.
Oh, what's your 2 cents?
Well, just because Die Hard happens around the Christmas holidays and it happens at a Christmas party does not necessarily make it a Christmas movie. Like Mick says, the body count is kind of high, and lots of blowing things up, and it's an action movie that happens to be around Christmas. As far as the Home Alone argument, it is supposed to be his Christmas vacation, but he gets left behind. So does that mean that it's a Christmas movie more so than Die Hard?
I think it's pretty equivalent. It's an action movie. He has to fight off terrorists. To him, they're terrorists.
Dan, I think it's JD's turn. We've heard enough out of you. Everybody needs to speak once before somebody speaks twice.
All of you have made some pretty good arguments, but I'm sticking to my guns that it is a Christmas movie, mostly because you could find it for free on a streaming service anytime during the year, except for in December when you have to pay for it. That means it's a Christmas movie.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
I will say that I do like seeing all the Nakatomi Plaza ugly Christmas sweaters that come out around this time. Nakatomi Plaza was the area where most of the movie takes place.
I think at the end of the day, it's still a classic movie, whether you constitute it as a Christmas movie or not. I think most everyone ends up watching it around this time of year.
I have one question. Okay, if this were really a Christmas movie, little kids get very excited about Christmas. I think for parents, the excitement of getting together, getting family together and seeing the excitement in your children. Would any of your parents allow 8-year-old version of you to watch this movie and justify it? It's okay for the kids because it is a Christmas movie.
Not Die Hard.
Yeah, but I don't think parents would allow them to watch Bad Santa either, which is a Christmas movie about a Santa Claus.
It's a tough question, though.
So I guess you would say that neither Bad Santa nor Die Hard could be classic Christmas movies even though, Die Hard being such an old movie, if it really were a Christmas movie, you'd probably want to be able to categorize it as a classic at this point in time, but you just can't.
We do have a pretty interesting stat rolling into the comments here.
I see that.
From Autolicious. Statistic from Dish Network in 2016. Die Hard was the 10th most watched movie last Christmas Eve, meaning that more Americans watched Die Hard than holiday favorites such as Miracle on 34th Street, Home Alone, and The Santa Claus.
Interesting statistic.
See, he also says his dad let him watch Die Hard when he was only 8 years old, and he doesn't think it was a Christmas movie, though. Thank you. You just solved it. I'm going with Charlie Brown Christmas. You have to watch it every year.
That's a good finish. I like it. Well, we are rolling up in time here. Does anybody have a final comment they want to throw out?
I just
A
hope
rebuttal?
everyone enjoys watching holiday movies this holiday season.
I hope so too. Who doesn't love a good holiday movie or a good movie in general? Mick, I will let you know, last week after Thanksgiving, we take all the nieces and nephews out for like a day out. So Saturday we went to the Chicago Symphony Orchestra where they were screening Home Alone, and the orchestra was playing the score live while the movie screened. So it was
Oh, I bet
pretty.
that was awesome.
It was the best showing of Home Alone I have ever seen, for sure.
That's so cool.
Oh, wow.
Thanks for letting us know this was happening.
Why didn't I do that?
And they're doing the whole John Williams library at the CSO. So Star Wars is coming up soon, and also Jurassic Park. If you live in Chicago,
Oh,
we do not get paid to advertise for the Chicago Symphony Orchestra. Just letting you know that there's some cool stuff going on there.
Are they doing Dances with Wolves?
Did John Williams do that score?
Yes, he did.
Did he? I don't know.
Yeah,
I'll
just
take a
wanted
closer
to-
look at the schedule.
Yeah,
I don't
just
think in the
wanted to-
next, they're not doing it in the next 6 months. I know that, but I don't know if they will eventually. So, all right, with that, Dan, you got a quote for us?
I do. Comes from John McClane himself. We all know the classic one. I'm not going to go that route. I don't think this program rates that, but I'm going to go with another
Yippee-ki-yay.
one. I'm going to go with another one here from John McClane. I got invited to a Christmas party by mistake. Who knew?
Christmas movie. All right.
that quote doesn't back your argument whatsoever.
Crashed it.
That is not a mic drop quote, Dan.
It's as good as I can get.
Well, see, there you go. Even you're scraping to put your argument together.
Well, we'll finish this debate next week, maybe.
There you go.
All right, Hogue, you want to take us home?
Sure. Whatever your favorite Christmas movie is, make sure we hope that everybody's safe and happy and peaceful this holiday season. Looking forward to another great trading year next year. Be ready, be prepared, and God bless us, everyone.